Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be installing and reviewing a set of magic buttons and a magic knob that fits right under our front screen, gives our Tesla some of those classic buttons if you want more of that tactile feel and you don't always like going to the screen to do some of your common settings. Let's get into it. So quickly going over the contents and form factor of this product, I want to show you everything you get in the package. So here's a little kind of preview of what it's going to look like to give you a really nice user manual so you can program all the buttons and do all the things. You actually get a little set of kind of like tactile stickies. These are actually have some depth to them. They're not just little stickers, but this kind of helps you customize each one of the buttons to do what you want it to do. We'll spend some more time on those later. Here's the actual kind of brackets for mounting it on your rear screen or on your front screen, excuse me. We'll go over those in a second. The wiring harness, how everything's going to hook up down in our pillar over there on the passenger side where we've installed many other accessories. Then the actual buttons themselves. Let's get these out of the package. I want to show you kind of what they look like. So here you go. Here's kind of a preview of the actual buttons. Again, it's going to clamp under your front screen, and then you get a set of, 10 different buttons as well as a knob here that do all kinds of different functions. You can control your fan speed, your temperature, open your passenger doors, your frunk, your trunk, all kinds of really cool things with some tactile buttons. So if this is something that speaks to you and you don't like actually using the front screen all the time to navigate through menus to do stuff, now you have some really cool shortcut buttons. I really like this form factor. I think it's going to look great. I do have a swivel screen installed over on my Model Y. So we're going to test how this actually works with that swivel screen. They said it will work, and you have a couple different mounting options for your Model 3 or Model Y with this back bracket. I'll show you how to install all of this in a second. So let's head over there to the passenger side and start pulling off some of the trim covers and install the wiring first. So to actually install the wiring, the first thing we're going to do is remove some of these trim panels on the side here to get access to the OBD port down here, as well as power. You've seen me do this in other videos. Very simple process. It's not intimidating at all. What we're going to do first is pop off this little trim panel right here with the included pry tool. Go ahead and take this one off, pop it out. Get that out of your way. This little piece pops right out as well. There's one little clip that holds it all in place there. Go ahead and remove that one. Let's go ahead and get some of our weather stripping out of the way. I just like to pull this back and just kind of move it out of my way here so I can get to this next panel. And then down below, I'll move the camera. So right down here is where we're actually going to be installing everything. There is a little toggle clip right here that I like to take out with my pry tool. One of these little toggle bolts, very easy to remove and put back. Then we can kind of peel this back out of the way and get us access to everything we need. I typically like to take this whole thing out just to kind of give me some room so it's not in my way. So I just go ahead and pull it up and just kind of set it out of the side. So right down here, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Right down here is our actual power. So we're going to be using some power out of this and just splice in the actual wire connector. And back in here is our OBD port. So there's one more little toggle we got to remove. Go ahead and get this out of the way. That allows us to open up a carpet back here. And right back down in here, I have some other accessories plugged in. Let me show you guys real quick. But there's a blue OBD port down in there. Right now I have something else plugged into it, so I'm going to daisy chain them together with this little connector here. But it's super simple. Down in there's a blue OBD port. Plug the wire into that. I want to talk about the wiring harness that actually comes with these magic buttons. Very simple. It's not intimidating at all. It's all labeled really clearly. So on this side, it says AMD power plug. That's what I'm going to be using because I have the AMD processor. This side says it's for the Model Y Juniper. So it's nice that it's all set together like this. It's for various cars. You don't need to use all the plugs though. Just use the one that's applicable to your situation. As we come down to the other end, this is the actual OBD port plug. So again, you can actually plug it in here and have more accessories on the other end. So this side's just going to be up open for us, but it allows you to plug in more accessories if you need. This is kind of the controller unit of the actual system. So it does come with a long, flat USB-C to C cord. This is going to route up through our kind of glove box area, plug in here and tuck all the way. Then it's going to plug into the back of our actual buttons here. So right here on the back is where the rest of this USB-C cord is going to go. So let's start off doing the actual wiring harness, and then we'll mess with the USB-C stuff a little later. So what I'm going to find is my AMD processor cord. Let's see, it is this one right here. And I'm going to go ahead and unplug the actual power or the harness that I have in this spot right here. Push in the little toggle and wiggle it out. There you go. And just go ahead and plug in the new one in line Should hear a nice click and plug in what I just unplugged into the end of it. So now it just kind of daisy chained everything together. It's that simple. Next, we're going to find the actual OBD port piece that we're actually going to plug into that blue socket. Again, on my side, I already have something in there, a different accessory. So I'm going to find my little daisy chained area. You can see that, and just plug it into that section. Make sure it's lined up, plug it in. Super simple. Plug and play. So kind of organize some of these wires. You can do a really nice job. There should be plenty of room to hide all these wires back in there. And then we have this little black box. So I am going to take an end of the USB-C to C cable, unwind this, and go ahead and get that kind of plugged in. So I can start putting some of this away, get it all squared away. So like that, that's what I should be looking for. Now, before we tuck all the wires away, I want to look at these two little brackets that came with the kit. You can kind of tell one is a little bit longer than the other. So depending on if you have the Model 3, Model Y, Juniper, whichever model, you might find one of these brackets fit better. I'm not sure which one's going to fit. As you can see, I do have a swivel screen installed. So how this actually screen installs is you're going to take the screen, and whichever one of these brackets fit better, it's just going to clip on to one end, and you're going to clip it down onto the other side behind the screen. I'm going to try the bigger bracket for now and see if this fits better, and I will go ahead and just try to position it over here on the screen and line up the front and see if this actually works. Clip that side in. And there I got it installed. So let's take a look and put the screen kind of back down and where I had it. It does fit flawlessly with the swivel screen. I'm actually impressed. You can kind of see a little preview what the buttons look like. I'll highlight all of this for you. It was a little finicky to get the brackets on this side and then make sure it attaches to the other side. And then I actually did notice that it does show, you can see it on here right there. It says M3 Highland, and on this bracket it says Model 3Y. So it's a nice, really secure fit. I'm actually really impressed with how that fits. And it looks really clean all the way on the back. Now, I intentionally left all my wires out and wanted to get this actual physical buttons installed so I could reroute all the excess wire from that USB-C cable back to where I needed to go and not end up with a whole bunch of extra. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to actually plug the unit in with the little USB-C plug on the back here, like that. I can see the power light turning on, so we're already good there. And then I'm going to spend some time kind of routing this wire. And where I think I want it to go is have enough slack in the actual system so that when I turn my screen, it fits both ways. It looks like it will if I start here. And I'm just going to follow this little channel and try to put the wire all the way across. You might need to use your pry tool for some of this, but let's see, there should be enough space, and it's a nice flat USB-C wire, to go ahead and like force it in this little gap area and kind of up into your glove box space. So I want to show you from the front actually how I have my wiring set up for my magic buttons and my magic knob here. If you look on the back, you can see where it's plugged in down in this little slot here. And I have the wire kind of coming up and just running along this channel above my glove box. Now, I didn't attach it to anything in my glove box. Right now, it's just kind of sitting down in there kind of loose, but you could use some double-sided tape, stick it up to the top, and then it'll be out of your way. Then it kind of comes out over on this side right here, where I can easily tuck it behind these side panels as we tuck in the rest of these wires. So we're going to work on that next. So cable management is a pretty important part of the process for me. I don't like a lot of loose cables looking out. I really like clean installs. So I'm going to spend some time cleaning this all up, putting back all the trim pieces exactly like we put them on. I'll probably time lapse this piece so you don't have to watch me do it all. But essentially just take it all off and put it back on the same way you took. So after just a few minutes, I actually organized all the wiring. It looks nice and clean over on that side. And we have these magic buttons installed. Couldn't have been a simpler install. It's extremely sturdy on there. Like you can see how much I'm wiggling the screen. It's not going anywhere. And it works perfect with like the swivel screen mount. You can go up and down with it, left and right, all that kind of cool stuff. So pretty cool form factor altogether. It does have these little clips that kind of clipped in around the actual screen. It probably won't work if you actually have like one of them frame protectors or something on your screen, but for my setup, it works great. Let's talk about a couple of the buttons. So you get 10 buttons all the way along the front, and they're illuminated. So when you actually install and kind of customize and program them, you can take any of these little buttons and stick it on there, and it'll show through. These actually are a little bit see-through, so it'll illuminate your buttons at night. Pretty cool. Let's talk about some of the functionality in the actual product manual here, what the 20 custom types of functions are. By pushing a button, you can assign any of these buttons to any of these functions. Park, reverse, drive, turn on your left or right signal, especially if you have that weird range when they took away the turn signal stock. Open your charge port, fold your mirrors, preheat your battery, turn on your dome lights, turn on your window lock for like your children in the back seat, open your trunk, turn on the rear fan. That's a really cool button. I do that all the time. I have to navigate to 3 or 4 buttons to turn on the rear fan for my little son in the back seat. Turn on my hazards, sport mode. I'm not too sure what that actually is. Seat backward, seat forward, open up your rear door, your passenger or driver doors, or your front passenger door. And it just kind of pops them out a little bit for you. So pretty cool. Inherently built in is also the functionality on this knob. The first actual button it defaults to is your fan speed. So you can see it's only like at what, 2 or 3 notches. If I turn this up, you can probably hear it on camera. Turns up my fan speed right away for me. It's blowing kind of hot air now because it's kind of cold out, but really cool how it just turns up my fan speed for me and I can turn it back down just with a simple knob. A lot of people miss that from like traditional cars that aren't electric vehicles or aren't Teslas. So you're missing a fan knob. That's the way to do it. The other way you can do it is if you push the button here, it gets into a temperature mode. So really cool. You can actually adjust the temperature in here as well. If you're cold, turn the temperature up. So you can turn it into, it gets kind of warmer, a warmer temperature down there, that kind of hot orange color, or back down to where you had it. So pretty cool there as well. One more button push gets you into the settings menu, and that's how you program each of these buttons. So that's what I want to talk about next. So I zoomed out a little bit because I want to show how we can program the different buttons. On the back of the instructions, it shows exactly what you need to do to program the actual buttons. So we're going to follow the steps. Step 1, rotate the display knob to the settings page, press and hold the target button to enter setup. So I'm going to rotate this and push the button 1, 2. Now I'm in the settings page. Let's say I want to customize this button to open my frunk. I'm going to hold this button for a second and I'm going to rotate to what icon I want it to do. I'm going to rotate until I find the frunk button right there. Then I'm going to push on the center console, and now that should be programmed to my actual frunk. There we go, holding for a few seconds. So now if I move this back to just regular, if I push this button, it should pop open my frunk. And there it goes. I have the power frunk on there, so it's going to power it open for me. That's really cool. I know you can do it from the touchscreen as well. You can do it from right there. But if I push it again, it should close it for me too. Really nice to have a button to do that. Side note, the power frunk's one of the best things you can install on your Tesla. Tell them Gambleton 80 sent you, order one today. It's really cool. So right there, it's super easy to customize any of these buttons you want them to do. Let's say that's my frunk button. Let's make this one the actual trunk button. So we'll do it again. So I'm going to push this button twice, hold this button that I want to program. Let's go find the trunk setting. Just kind of rotate this to right, oops, that one. Hold that button. Now that has programmed to my trunk. So if I push that, you can hear my trunk opening in the back, and it's actually opening. Really cool how you can customize just some buttons if you really want tactile button feedback to do things on your Tesla. So go ahead and close that again. So super simple. Let's do one more demonstration, maybe power fold the mirrors. So I'm actually gonna, let's see, set it back to settings. I was there. I'm gonna hold this button. Now we're going to find the mirrors. You can do your turn signals, charge port, vent your windows, dome lights. Let's see, sport mode. Maybe I missed the mirror once. Right there, power fold the mirror. So I'm going to do that. Hold the button. Now this should be customized to my mirrors. And you can see it on there. It folded them, and hopefully you heard it. It actually pushed them in. So right now I have my frunk, trunk, and mirrors all on these buttons. What I could do next, if I wanted to, was easily take any of these symbols that I've already done. Let's find the one for the frunk. Let's see, right there. So I could take that one, peel it off here. I'm not going to do it because I want to save these and I might change these later, but I could easily peel that off and attach it right to the little indicated illuminated icon right there, and I'd be good to go. Really cool form factor, really cool idea. Lots and lots of functionality here. I know I didn't get into all of it. I actually want to try the rear fan one too. So let's do that. I want to see how that works. Right now, my rear fan is actually on. So I'm going to hop in here real quick and turn it off, because that's something I always have to do for my little son in the back. He doesn't ever seem to stay on for me. So we're going to do my 4th button for the actual rear fan. So I'm on the settings. Find that rear fan. Sport, park, drive, reverse. There, rear fan. Hold that. Okay, now this should turn on the rear fan for me if I'm actually... Yep, and I can feel the air blowing. So it turned on the rear fan, bypassed all of the buttons I would have to push to do it. Really cool. Push it again, should turn it off. And I have my hand back here. Yep, it turned it off. So really cool. Awesome features, super simple to program to what you want, and a very easy install as well. One thing I want to point out is I've learned by playing with this for a few minutes is this screen doesn't always reflect what's on the Tesla screen. Let me explain. So right now you can see my fan speed is kind of set there. Say I want to turn it up to a different fan speed, right? A little bit higher. If I go into my actual menu here, it still shows that my fan speed is 2. So it didn't override what it displays on the Tesla. It doesn't seem to communicate what's on this screen to the actual Tesla. It can control it just fine. It's just not displaying the appropriate information right there. If I come up to this screen now and say, let's see, put it down to 1, it automatically goes all the way to 1, and you saw it reflect there. So let's try it again. Let's go up to like halfway with my fan speed. You can hear it coming. And then I come to my Tesla screen and say it's too fast. I push it to 2. This reverts all the way to 2. And I think it's the same for the temperature. If I push this and go to the temperature, say I want it lower, my air conditioning go lower, it's not actually adjusting my air conditioning temperature on either side. So if I put it all the way down, let's see, all the way down there, then I come up here to my actual manual mode, and let's say I want it at 70. Let's watch what happens here. Yeah, it kicks it all the way up to the middle. So your Tesla screen will always override your magic buttons. These will work to adjust your temperature and settings. It's just not always reflective on your Tesla screen, if that makes sense. So after installing these magic buttons and kind of playing with them for about a day now, I've actually kind of gotten used to them. I do like having some physical buttons in my Tesla. I already have a few down here that do a couple things on my center console that I've installed, a little accessory down there, but this is really cool. I often find myself kind of fumbling to adjust fan speed. I do have my left scroll wheel assigned to kind of program my fan speed, but I wish there was another option to do it. This kind of gives you that really tactile scrolling wheel to adjust your fan speed, your temperature, and do some other really cool things. You can kind of program it to what you want to do. Say you're an Uber driver and always people are struggling to actually get in your passenger seat or your doors or open your doors. You can program these buttons to easily pop the door open for them so they're not fumbling around with your door handles, or your passengers. If people are always trying to actually use your emergency door release and not using the button, you can override that. Say, I'll open the door for you. I got it from right here. Program one of these buttons. You can also program it to drive in reverse. And on the newer Teslas, if you actually don't want to do it on the screen, you can come down here. This is my drive button, this is reverse, and this is park, right? Customize things that way. The idea of customizing this is really cool. Some people will hate the physical buttons, and that's totally fine. You got away from it with your Tesla. Tesla didn't put them in, so obviously you don't need them. You can do everything else from the main screen. It's just an accessory. And if you want those tactile buttons back, now you got a way to have them. I want to say that I got this product from Test Studio. They sent it over to me for review. Big channel partner. I really like working with them. Fast shipping, good customer support. So tell them Gamble 1080 sent you whenever you shop at Test Studio. This product will be linked down in the description. If you go there and you're shopping, use discount code GAMBLE1080 right here on the screen. We do earn a very small affiliate commission, no additional cost to you when you use my code, and it does really help out my channel. It helps me bring videos like this to you guys. So if there is something you want me to test out on Test Studio's website, drop it down in the comments. Maybe I'll see if they can send me over one. I'll review it, get some hands-on with it, you guys, and I'll let you know if it's worth it. So thank you guys for coming back to the channel as always. If there's anything else you want to see that I've done to my Tesla, check out my Amazon storefront down in the description as well. Lots of cool stuff there. Lots of e-bikes, e-scooters, other products I review on that storefront. So check that out as well. Thank you guys for coming back. Let me know in the description or in the comments, would you guys install this screen on your Tesla? This actual little magic buttons. Super curious what to hear, what you guys think. I think it's neat. We'll see. I'm going to leave it on for a few days and we'll actually see how if I end up liking it and using it. And I'll update down below if I've actually kept it on there or not. I think that's it. Appreciate you guys. Feel free to like and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video. Have an awesome day.